Hello everyone, my name is Raven Shadowhawk and you're listening to Smut With Brains, my chance to chat with you about all the things that interest me as an author of erotic fiction. Please be aware this podcast will often contain sexual content, some of it explicit, and that I occasionally swear. Okay, I swear a lot, what can you do? But if you're happy with that and not already running for cover, slip into your most comfy clothes, join me between the sheets and settle in for a super smexy ride. Hello lovelies, how are you today? I am Raven Shadowhawk, your smexy host for the duration of this episode 21 of Smut With Brains. Yes! Forgive me if I'm a little bit sedate today, or, normal compared to usual. The weather has been absolutely fine and gorgeous and lovely, which of course set off all my allergies and has left me scrabbling for the antihistamines, which I didn't take soon enough, so I spent the whole day sneezing and coughing and eyes streamy grossness, and basically I've been uncomfortable and I'm now quite tired as a result. But I'm still here, so it's okay. Now, it is Monday the 22nd of May 2017 as I record this, and unlike usual, I'm actually recording in the evening, which might be another reason why I'm a bit kind of calm and on a level, because the day has just been so crazy busy, basically. There's just been stuff happening all over the place, but it's not going to stop me doing what I want to do, which is chat to you guys for half an hour or so. So, let's see now. What have I been up to in the week just gone? Well, let's see. Let's work backwards. So what was yesterday? Yesterday was Sunday. Days of the week. I know things. I'm a clever person. So yesterday was Sunday, and I went to what is now becoming a regular feature, apparently, month by month, the peer rope event that happens a little way down the road. Very, very, very fun. I went there without any of my rope. It's like, oh, I can't do anything now. I was going to see if I could learn some of the new ties they were talking about. And nope, didn't quite happen that way, because I walked out the house with everything except rope and shears. It's like, well, that's a bit shit, isn't it? Bad Raven. So I went intending to bunny, but the very nice gentleman I was partnered with preferred to bunny. So I was like, right, I'm going to learn me some, Japanese lotus flower something or other. I don't fucking know. They've got really weird names, some of these. I mean, the whole thing, what's it called? Shibari. It's a Japanese thing. So they have Japanese names, and sometimes you get translations of them, and sometimes you get the Japanese name, like Futomono. I still don't know what that one is. But I did, basically, I had a lot of fun learning the new ties. And there was one in particular, I'm just going to, hang on. Right. Yeah, there's one in particular. That rustling you can hear is a little 10-meter coil of rope that I'm messing with now. That I've always wanted to learn, and I thought I'd cracked it, and I clearly hadn't, because I kept fucking it up. And one of the guys there showed me how to do it in a way that made sense. And bam! I've just done it just now. Oh my god, that was so easy. I don't know. I think what's he call it? Dutch handcuff or something handcuff. It sounded like Texas Hold'em when he said it. I was like, are you sure that's what you mean? It's not what he meant. But whatever it is, do you know what? I'll put some pictures up or something so you can see this, because it looks so cool and it's really, really easy. In fact, I'll tell you what I'll do, guys. I'll make a little video at some point so you can see me talk about whatever the hell this knot is. And at that point, I'll be able to tell you what it actually is called as well. But I'm looking at it now, and it's so easy, and it's like a handcuff tie. So you can very quickly, very easily cuff someone's hands, and you end up with a little tail to pull them around with. So you end up with a lead as well. And it's just like, Shona's gonna do awesome with knots like this. Yes, it all comes back to Shona and breaking Noose. Oh, shit. See, now I've got 10 metres of rope in my lap. Fuck. Raven, what you done? Right. Oh, Jesus. I'll figure out what to do with this while I'm talking to you. I'm going to... Right, I'm going to coil it back up so it's nice and neat and tidy. So that was my Sunday. Very, very interesting. It always is. So I learnt that handcuff tie. I learnt the Japanese lotus flower thing. I learned a new chest harness. I also learned or reminded myself how to do a decorative pentagram across the chest as well. Very exciting. Very, very exciting indeed. It's the sort of thing that, well, I don't know actually. I don't think Shona would be interested in the aesthetics of it the way I am. Character growth, people are going to have to think about that a bit more. Right, that's the rope gone. Whew. Didn't even know I was doing it, did you? Yeah, right. Yeah. And then I came home and ate a bunch of junk food while watching Pokemon, because that's what I do when I'm tired. But going back from that Sunday, I also spent the Saturday with a very good buddy of mine. We went shopping in Birmingham, which is always a lot of fun, even with shitty weather. Yeah, I mean, no matter how glorious and beautiful today has been, just every other day last week was just appalling for weather, with rain and thunder. And I'm fairly certain we had hailstones at one point as well. So there's me and her ducking in and out of the bull ring, trying not to get soaked while looking for cool shops that we could look into. And then I did a thing, right? And I want to tell you about this before I move on, because I am fascinated by it, right? I did a thing. I bought makeup. This might not sound like a big deal, okay? But when I think about my experiences with makeup, I don't have any, okay? The extent of my knowledge when it comes to makeup is those lovely flat pads of Snazoo that I'd use to colour my face for Hero Fest or whatever LARP I'm doing that needs some kind of face paint, you know? And when I did theatre back in school, because we were on stage, we did have to wear makeup then, so, you know, our features were actually visible. But in terms of actual proper, you know, everyday girly shit makeup, never done it. Never. I might own a mascara, but it's clear. It's like, well, that's a bit pointless, isn't it? I had a lipstick, but it was black because I bought it for some goth thing that I dressed up for. I was like, yeah, black lipstick. That's all I know about being a goth. A lipstick must be black. But yeah, so makeup just does not feature in my life at all. But now, I can't find the bag now, is it? Okay, wherever it's gone, I know I have it. Now I actually own a very nice red lipstick. Not like bold arterial red, but a deeper, darker red. Although I'm kind of wishing I got purple. Anyway, never mind. Doesn't matter. Red lipstick, and I've got an eyeliner, and I've got a little thing of eyeshadow, and I've got a mascara as well. And I kind of sort of know how to use them. Whoa, man. I'm so excited about it. I was going to put some on today just to see if I could remember what she showed me in like putting on the eyeshadow and trying to get a wing on my lid. I'm pointing at my face like you can see me. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I don't even know where to begin. So, you know, to YouTube! Because everybody does tutorials on YouTube, and it's true. Anyway, I think that's enough gabbing about what I've been up to in the week. Let's get on to the good stuff, shall we? Mark it on the calendar. Tick it off the list. Work complete. Yeah, that's sweet. Here's my to-do list. You get the gist. Okay, like I said last week, I have stepped back a little bit. Well, no, I've stepped back a lot. Who am I kidding? To ensure that Ileandra can get as much of her editing done in preparation for the Bold Strokes Books Festival. However, I have been able to get 2,000 words down. No, 3? two and a half. Compromise. Yeah, 2,500 words down on Breaking News. And I'm so pleased. I think I'd actually reached a point with it where I wasn't bored exactly, but the bits that interested me most were further on. And because of the way my brain works when I'm editing, when I'm drafting, I prefer to write in a linear manner. So I have to get through the bits which are less exciting to get to the bits that are. Which is a pretty big red flag, to be honest. If I don't want to write it, who the hell's going to want to read it? So it kind of made me rethink the points that I had in my scene-by-scene breakdown and fix those. So I've done that now, and I'm 2,500 words better off. And I'm very, very pleased. So I'm hoping with the changes I've made and the new vim I have for it all, I'll be able to keep pushing on and stay ahead of the curve until Ileandra calms the hell down with her editing for Suck This Bitch. Da-da-da. I have also... I can't remember if I told you about this last week or not. Doesn't matter. I'll tell you again. I've written another script for Cardlin. He put out a video... I don't know if it was this one or the one before, but it was... one of his fortnightly script prompt ideas, and right at the bottom in the erotic section was an erotic Little Mermaid story, because he's done Beauty and the Beast, he's done Cinderella, and one of the suggestions coming through his panel was, can you do Little Mermaid? I was like, I can't watch Cinderella or Beauty and the Beast anymore without thinking of you and your voice, so why not fuck up Little Mermaid as well? So I wrote him a script. The story I wanted to tell is actually quite a long one. It wouldn't fit into one script, so I've actually spread it across 3. And he's given me the okay to write parts 2 and 3. So at some point, I'll get those written and send them off to him, and then I'll let you know if and when they become available. It's quite exciting, isn't it? Notice, by the way, that there's much less squealing and bouncing around in my seat now than there was before. I don't want to say that I'm jaded to it or that I'm used to it, but I don't know. I guess, yeah, maybe I am used to it. But it's still very exciting, okay? It's exciting that he feels my words are good enough for him to perform, considering that he's building a portfolio and looking into going into voice work professionally, properly. So, it's a good sign for me. It's a green flag, as it were, and I'm happy about it. Yeah. What's going on? Let me tell you now. It's all about the week ahead. My week ahead. My week ahead. My week ahead. Let me tell you about my week ahead. Are you ready now to hear about the week ahead? Yep, this is pretty easy. Given what I said last week, the plan remains the same. Right enough to stay ahead of the curve and to ensure that I can keep reading Breaking News. Otherwise, let Ileandra edit her little heart out with a view to having her novel ready to give in to Bold Strokes on the 3rd and or 4th of June. It's getting easier and easier to do this, isn't it? Gather round, boys and girls. Raven's here, and she's going to tell you a story. A sexy story. No, a smexy story. Breaking News, Part 1 of the Learning the Ropes series by Raven Shadowhawk. Chapter 7. I picked up the bra, studied the cups that, even at a glance, were far too small to hold my breasts. The band was narrow and short, a fussy, pretty specimen, nothing like the plain and sensible bras I favoured. What on earth? The room dipped in and out of focus. My knees wobbled, but a major twist of will kept me upright. My lip ached. Only then did I realise I'd been biting it. I folded the bra, tucked it under my arm, and left the bedroom. The kitchen was empty. So too was the balcony, as well as Joshua's deck chair, his favoured spot for smoking in the smoke-free apartment block. I found him at the front door, speaking in heated whispers to someone out of sight on the other side. "I'm back tomorrow, okay? I'm busy now, you can't come in." The door shuddered, as if someone had kicked it. "Will you stop that? I already said I'd see you tomorrow. What more do you want?" Another shudder, and an angry thump. I stopped in the hallway. "Joshua, who is it?" He stiffened and swung back to face me. "Hey, no one, it's—" This time, the door jerked out of his grip so hard the edge struck him in the nose. He stumbled back with a cry, grasping his face with both hands. "No one? I'll give you no one, you arrogant little fucker. Why are you trying to hide if it's no one?" A woman burst through the door, tall, blonde, and leggy. She flipped long golden strands over her shoulder and glared at me from behind stylish, narrow-framed glasses. "And who the fuck are you?" I froze, remembered the bra tucked under my arm. "I'm Shona." Joshua forced himself between us with his arms outstretched. "Now, hold on," he began. The woman hit him in the chest. "Shona? You mean your ex? What's she doing here?" A little flame of warmth flickered in my chest. "Not that it's any of your business, but I'm here talking. Why don't you tell me who you are?" Her eyes narrowed. "I'm Edith, his girlfriend." Girlfriend? My lips formed the word, but it didn't make sense. "Girlfriend? You... girlfriend?" Edith sucked her teeth. "Are you thick or something? Yes, I said girlfriend. What you used to be? Now why don't you explain what you're doing here?" Still grasping his nose, Joshua heaved off the wall and once more stood between us. "Now, ladies, if you'll just give me a moment to explain..." "Explain what?" "Tell me this isn't what it looks like. What it sounds like. Joshua? She made a mistake, right?" "Who the hell are you calling she? Looks like you're the one who made a mistake." My fingers tightened on the bra still clutched to my chest. I glanced at Edith and I knew for sure. "Lost something?" The ruby-red lips thinned as she smiled. "I wondered where that was. One of my favourites. It's been gone for a week." "A week?" "Yeah, where'd you get it?" The bedroom. I was changing the bedsheets." Edith whirled on Joshua. "Are you serious right now? What was she doing in your bedroom, rifling through your drawers? Did you sleep with her? Huh? Did you fuck her right after I left, you slimy bastard?" "You left?" "Yeah, only an hour ago, maybe less than that. I've got work in the morning. I only came back because I forgot my diary." "Edith, Shona, I backed off." My chest heaved as breath caught in my throat. Why was it so hot? "An hour ago? Joshua, you slept with her an hour ago?" I remembered the smell, the scent of recent arousal that I enjoyed so much. A bitter taste filled my mouth. "You still haven't told me what you're doing here, Shona." Edith's voice took on a razor edge. "But if you're done, I want to speak to my lying fuck of a boyfriend. Why don't you get lost?" Still Joshua held his nose. He seemed adrift, unable to speak or even look my way. I called his name. He shook his head. But what? What could I say? Instead, I dropped the bra, scooped up my bag, and shoved my way from the flat. So cold on the stairs. I couldn't see. My head swam, light and filled with fluff. I couldn't remember walking down each flight, but suddenly I was at the bottom, tugging on the main door, struggling to get out. Cool air, like a slap to the face. Rain. The door slammed behind me, a thunderous boom that made me jump. "Day!" I squinted against the driving sheets. Nothing. "Day!" The street was empty. Nothing to the left nor right. Norman's car was gone. In fact, there was no one out at all, just me shivering as rain soaked into my clothes and flattened my hair to my head. Walk then. Just walk. Get away. Get home. White light flared on my right, followed by the screech of skidding tires. A jet of water sprayed up from spinning wheels, drenching my face with sooty, gritty water. The car squealed away, leaving me stood in the centre of the road. My eyes burned. How could this happen? How? Why? How could Joshua do this to me? He wanted me. He'd said so, hadn't he? Why would he do that if it wasn't true? Why would he call me and ask to meet? Why would he insist on taking me to the charity gala? Why? Why? The door to the flats opened. Through it stormed Edith. No, fuck you, arsehole, don't touch me. I'm not some slut here for your late-night booty calls. No. She shook herself loose and marched on. Joshua followed 3 steps behind, barefoot and shivering. Please, Edith, if you just let me explain. Get bent, Josh. Edith kept walking, her heels rapping in furious tattoo on the damp pavement. Moments later, she rounded the corner and was gone. Still near the door, Joshua watched her leave. Though shadow cloaked his features, his angry grunt of frustration carried clear on the night air. Fuck, he roared. Fucking women! He turned, stomped back into the building, and slammed the door. The sound seemed to unfreeze me. I hurried off the road and beneath the bus shelter. With no glass on a broken roof, the cover it offered was minimal at best, but at least I could sit. I hugged my bag to my chest and tried to think. The coldness in my chest dimmed, became warmth. How could he? What was he trying to do to me? Why would he lift my hopes like that, all for nothing? The warmth grew. Was it just a trick? Payback for some slight I didn't know about? Or did he want both of us at once, me and Edith? But he didn't follow me, did he? Didn't chase me out of the house begging for a chance to explain. He didn't care about me at all. I pulled my phone from my bag. With damp hands, it took several tries just to unlock it, then 3 more to bring up Day's number. It rang. Connected. Day? Shit, she muttered. I bit my lip until it bled. I thought the pain would keep the tears at bay, but soon fresh moisture rolled down my cheeks, nothing to do with the rain. Where are you? Outside the flat. Joshua, Edith, the bra... Honey, calm down. Just stay put, okay? Don't move. I'm coming for you. Day. Just stay there. Don't do anything crazy. I'll be there in 15 minutes. I put the phone back into my bag. A lifetime passed in the minutes I sat on that bus shelter bench. 2 cars splashed by, but no other soul on that cold, lonely street. Lights winked on and off in the block of flats. One near the top, spilling onto a familiar balcony, stayed on for several minutes before going dark. He hadn't even tried to call me, or text. I cast my mind back, searching, scrabbling for some explanation, some reason. What had I done? Had I really treated him so terribly that he would cheat on me? A hackney rumbled closer, orange light dim. It stopped beside the shelter and the passenger door popped open. Shona? Shona, get in. I looked up at Day. I've been so stupid. Oh, honey, no. She leapt out of the taxi, splashing through an ankle-deep puddle to drag me into a bone-crushing hug. Don't worry about that now. Let's just get inside, okay? We'll talk later. Much later. I let her lead me into the taxi and sit me down. She held my hand all the way home, gently stroking the back of my fingers with the pad of my thumb. Oh, Shona, you poor sausage. But it's okay, my darling, it's okay. It's going to get better for you. It will. I promise, okay? It will get better. Yes. Right, I think, after all that, we need a bit of laughter, don't you think? I think we do. Yeah, we could do with some laughter. Things that make me laugh. Okay, this one is quite funny just because I've actually seen something similar and I didn't have to go all the way out to Scotland to see it. Um, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to read you the headline and then we can move on. Yeah, it's from the HuffPost, the UK HuffPost actually, from, let's have a look, August 12th, 2016. So it's actually quite an old one, but oldies but goldies, that's what they call them, right? Anyway, pensioners' giant cock has become a tourist attraction in Fife. Jim Hughes has erected a 14-foot rooster in his front garden. Of course it was a bloody rooster. What the hell were you thinking, you perverts? A Scottish pensioner's home has become a local tourist attraction after he erected a 14-foot, that's 4.25 metres, cockerel in his front garden. 73-year-old Jim Hughes pruned an ivy-covered tree into the shape of a male chicken outside his home in West Weymouth, and even added a beak and a comb to make it look more cock-like. These pictures are great. Oh dear. Originally, it was an old cherry blossom tree, Hughes told Fife Today. It got that big that I was worried it would be blown over and hit a car. So he turned it into a cock. It's in the front garden and looks out into the street. Since then, quite a few people have been stopping to take photographs, he added. I call it Jock, and it's crowing for independence. Oh dear. Jim isn't the only keen horticulturalist making headlines with bizarre topiary. Back in February, tree surgeon Chris Bishop rose to fame after pruning an 18-foot, that's 5.5 metres, tree on his property into a giant penis. Ah, jeez. Worcestershire resident Chris spent 3 years growing out the cypress tree before he was able to trim it to look like a huge gentleman's sausage. The green-fingered 43-year-old told Caters, no one's commented when I've been out in the garden. People have just looked at it and walked past. I think it's because they're trying to work out whether it's just their dirty minds. Oh dear. Despite protests from angry neighbours, Chris says he plans to grow the foliage out even more so he can add a pair of testicles to the sculpture. Oh dear. I can't decide if I'd be annoyed by having something like this in my garden or in a garden close by. I don't know. I mean, where we live, there are actually quite a few trees and bushes, and the biggest problem we seem to have is that they grow wild and they're just hanging over the path, which is fucking irritating. But actually, the most annoying tree on this street is probably ours. We have a fig tree. And if you like figs, great. If you don't, and we don't, then every year we get this bumper crop of figs that the birds decimate. And then they just leave like red shit everywhere. And if they don't eat them, then they rot. Yay! And then they smell. I have actually been quite good at getting them down and giving them away to people who do eat figs, but last year I didn't manage it, and I'm just looking out the window now. There are loads of figs from last year's crop still on the branches, so I have no idea what's going to happen this year. I don't know if they need to be stripped off or if they'll fall off on their own when new ones start coming in. I don't know. I have no idea, but I do know that what's up there at the moment is definitely not edible. They've been frozen and defrosted and frozen and defrosted over and over again because it's freaking cold around here when it wants to be. So, yeah, I don't know. But, giant cock! Oh, and the reason I shouldn't be surprised by this is I have seen a giant cock elsewhere. Not topiary, actually, it's a sculpture. There's a roundabout in Dorking. I have no idea what the roundabout's called. I just call it Cock Roundabout. Because right in the middle of it, there is a huge freaking metal sculpture of a cockerel. And I'm like, I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, why is that there? I don't understand. And now, every time I go back there and I see it, someone has done something to it. Like, they've given it a football t-shirt or a scarf, or I don't know, that they've coloured the beak in, or just something stupid to add a bit of flavour to this giant cock in the middle of the roundabout. And it's funny. And there's part of me thinking, why? Why a freaking chicken? And you know what? I know exactly why. It's because you can make the cock jokes. Because at the end of the day, humour doesn't matter how old you are, right? If you're 5, if you're 55, if you're 105, humour just boils down to cock jokes. Yeah? Toilet, cock, sex. That's what we find funny. So if you have a chance to call something a giant cock, then why would you skip out on it? Oh, Raven's Pearl of Wisdom for the day. Yes, folks, it's Q&A time. You ask the questions and I'll give the answers. And I will never, ever lie. Promise. Okay, so 2 questions today. Right, we'll start with this one here. What do you think makes a good story? Sex. Yeah, you ask me questions like this, you're going to get silly answers. Well, the pensioner's giant cock story, I think, is a good story because it made me laugh. So I guess a good story has humour, but it's not a full story, is it? You know, it's a little tidbit, but it doesn't have a beginning, middle, and end. So I suppose if I'm looking for something good to read and something that I will then go on to class as a good story, I'm looking for characters I like, or that I like to hate, or love to hate, I suppose is the phrase, isn't it? I'm looking for action that's paced well. I'm looking for an actual story. I want something to happen. I want conflict and change. Those things make a good story, really. If I'm reading about a person who, I don't know, if I'm reading about a person who really likes cats at the start of the story, and then at the end of the story they really like cats, you know, nothing's changed. It's like, what was the point in this then? Where? However, if I've read a story about someone who starts really loving cats, but they think dogs are little pieces of shit, and then they get to the end of the story and they really like cats and they have a dog, you know, then there has been change, there has been growth, there has been something happening, and there is a point to the story. So yeah, that's what makes a good story. Humour is important to me. That's not always necessary, but it is a nice touch. I want an actual story, beginning, middle, end. I want change, I want conflict, and I want characters that I like. And if I can't like them, I want to hate them and enjoy that hate. There we go. Question number 2. How many books have you written and which is your favourite? I was calculating this yesterday, actually. But I was putting together my work and Ileandra's work for various reasons. So if I knock off Ileandra's releases, that's 14 releases I have to my name. Now, before you get all excited about that, do remember my work is generally shorter than Ileandra's, and it's centred around short stories and novella. I'm yet to release anything of novel length, so by virtue of that, I am able to produce things at a much quicker rate. However, yeah, there are 14 titles of mine available for purchase or for free download, depending on where you go, and I'm really pleased with that. Thinking about which is my favourite, I have a soft spot for Vicky and Lara. I suppose I always will do. It was my very first release, and my best friend is on the cover. Hey, do you want to pose for my book cover? Yeah, okay. You won't be able to wear clothes. Not a problem. Okay. So, yeah, I have a soft spot for that release and the cover and the story, actually, because it's not a direct lift from my first girl and girl experience, but it is a scenario that bears many similarities to a different encounter I had with another woman, and it was sweet. And the story means a lot to me. So I don't think it's my favourite, but I do have a soft spot for it. My favourite, I've so cheated on this question. Sorry, not sorry. My favourite is probably Sugar Dust, actually. Karen and Dan are such fun characters. There is so much about them that I know now. They are so real to me, and what they go through as a BDSM couple, DS, is just so fascinating. And I know I wrote it, I know I made it up, but it feels real to me, and I could completely see scenarios like the ones I wrote about playing out in another, in a DS household. And I don't know, I really, really enjoy the story and those characters. I like the cast of characters around them as well, so they've both got their best friends and they're awesome, and they've got insane parents and they're awesome. And then by the time you get to the end of Second Base, there are hints that there are more characters coming in because Karen is branching into femdom. So there's another character on the way, which you guys don't know about yet because I haven't released the third book, but it's on its way. So yeah, Sugar Dust, first in the Slippers and Chains series, is my favourite. And there we are. That brings us to the end of another episode of Smut With Brains. Phew, I felt like that took longer than usual. What's going on? Anyway, thank you very much for sticking around with me today. It's been lovely having you on board. Remember, if you've enjoyed what you heard today, tell your friends. If you're listening through YouTube, then why not hit the subscribe button? You will then get notifications, especially if you hit the little bell alongside it, which will tell you every time I release something new. That includes this podcast and any videos I might make as well. I don't want to drop too many hints, but there are more videos on the way. Or you can follow me on Twitter, which is at IleandraXRaven, or you can find me over on Facebook. Just look for Ileandra and Raven. I hope you have a spectacular week ahead and that the weather holds out so we can do some nice things. In the meantime, this is me saying fare thee well. Goodbye, my smexy lovelies. Goodbye. This has been an episode of Smut With Brains featuring myself, Raven Shadowhawk. If you'd like to get in contact with me or the shared brain, you can email through info@ravenshadowhawk.co.uk or hit us through Twitter on @IleandraXRaven. For further information and the episode archive, visit www.ravenshadowhawk.co.uk. All episodes to date arranged and edited by Leah Osborne. Opening and closing music sourced from Ben Sound. Title: Sexy. Of course. Stings feature further music from Purple Planet, Ben Sound and freesound.org. Track titles are Funky Element, Sunny and NewsReportMusic.